Heroes and Legends, the final tale. 2 days later, on Armory Death Day, most of the dimensions were celebrating, while others were preparing for war. Roz was leading a massive army, along with Randall, Chi, Angelo, Eric, Rena, Jean, Bastion, Lucia, Modoc, Lynn, Wandy, and Hardy. It was a coalition of the Empire, a massive military, hundreds of thousands surrounding the Secret Society. In response, Nia's androids numbered in the thousands as well to meet them in battle. To the Empire, this was the final battle of the Secret Society at Kandian Land. Roz vowed that on this day, the holiday in which the Udian of old and now the new dimensional empire that replaced it celebrated their greatest victory, and now have another great victory on this day, the end and fall of the Secret Society. They charged their forces and raided themselves in battle. All of the Secret Society and their heads were there. Everyone was there. They battled hard using magic, firepower, muscles, and more. Roz then went directly to Raheem, her nemesis, where she wanted to have a duel to avenge for her eye. However, she felt something was off. Raheem did not seem like the same person. He seemed more cold and distant than usual. She then figured that something was off. Was this a trap? But it was too little, too late. Society. Stanley, Miguel, Nina, Onassis, Thera, Trey, Koya, Raphael, Jovi, and Raheem. All of them were there when mere android duplicates of these said persons. It was a trap. They would never continue. They had fell for it. Now, the secret plan that the society really had in motion was about to begin. All the society heads were android decoys. As the real show begins in the east, explosions ran out across the empire. Timor sensed that something was drastically wrong and decided to save Nia as he pushed her aside as a bomb was going off. The container exploded. Supplies that were under Edo Trotter presidential palace exploded, and the entire leadership, Elise, Johanna, Rivera, and President Mulford, met their end. The same thing that they feared had come true. The leadership was entirely gone. Cyril was giving supplies to peasants when he picked up a box and a bomb was in it. It exploded and he died instantly. The leader of Tropicure was no more. As for Edo Trotter, Al Caesar was seeing all of this had transpired. It was his fault. How could this happen? But then Jacovia woke up from her spell and told Al Caesar what happened and what the society did. Fearing that the emperor might put him to blame for this, Al Caesar then went to end his life by jumping off the 31st floor of his building. Jacovia tried desperately to save him, but he ran too fast and met his end. With that, the Iron Chancellor was furious. On this day of celebration, chaos had appeared. Laverne was next to him, and Roz was on call. Jabbar was on the other side of Dietrich's office. He vowed to make Stanley pay for this. This was the worst attack in the history of the dimensions. Thousands upon thousands were dead. Leaderships and entire countries were destabilized. Chaos abounded everywhere. Laverne, in desperation, suggested absorbing the leaderless Edo Trotter, Edo, and Tropicure to Lasbury Papa to maintain order. While they discussed this, Jabbar removed himself from the room and had to make a serious phone call. Further away in an unknown location, the society had gone far. Too far, in fact. The employer was furious. Stanley then said, calm down, sir. This is the spark of a new age of the dimensions. The old God is gone. The ideals of the old cannot stand in this new era. Trust me, all that is left now to do is to cut down the head of the snake that continues to slither and bring poison to our lands. That is last spray. Trust me, boss, we could do this. While he was having this discussion, the allies met defeated. Harold made it too late to the western battle as he tried and failed once again to defeat Faulkner. Everyone cried and mourned the loss of this massive scale attack. Harold was then made aware of what had happened. Harold cursed the very ground he walked on. "Damn it," he said, talking to Bastion. "If I had to catch Faulkner and got him to talk, I may be able to warn you. But even if we fail to predict this attack, we'll at least catch Faulkner to figure out the enemy's next move. Now we're right back to square one." Bastion then held on to his friend and said, "Don't worry, we will do this." Elsewhere, Randall, Chi, Angelo, Eric, Radar, Jean, Lucia, Warlock, Lynn, Bondi, and Hoddy were all tired out from killing androids. They knew that the battle and the war was not yet over. In order to help with the reconstruction of the Dimensional Empire, Wilsonville made a contact with the Western nations to formally bring them into the fold. They will now be recognized as a part of the Dimensional Empire, he said. The Dwafts, led by Lucia, the Goblins, led by Modi, and the Orcs, led by Hondi, were now recognized as proper leaders in their own nations in the UDN. The former UDN, now known as the Dimensional Empire, or DE. With this, all the dimensions were now at last one, united by a shared goal of peace and justice and equality for all races. With this, the Iron Emperor and the Council Speaker now stood as equals, the two most powerful men in the Dimensional Empire. The two men slowly started to drift apart as the secret society's shadow loomed over them all.